What is up, Broncos fans? The Denver Broncos show. Evan here, back again, here to give you guys my game recap for the Broncos' thrilling come-from-behind victory over the Bears as we beat Chicago 13-10. What a great win. This was another, thrilling win for us. I was actually at the game on Sunday. I went with my buddy who's a season ticket holder. And I gotta say, this was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Just an unreal atmosphere. The way that place was rocking in the fourth quarter and overtime was just unbelievable. I mean, the Mile High magic is definitely back. And to see us come back and to see the way it united everyone in the stadium and how everyone was giving each other hugs and high fives, it just was a real surreal experience. And I can tell you what, the Mile High magic is definitely back. And it was another great win for us. The Broncos have now won 6 games in a row, and it's unbelievable. I mean, it really is unbelievable what we're doing right now, and it was another great win for us. Now looking at the good things we did in this game, first and foremost, we finished strong once again against the Bears. We outscored them 13-3 in the fourth quarter and overtime. We're one of those teams that if you let hang around with you the whole game, we're eventually going to beat you in the fourth quarter. We did that here against the Bears. We've done it all year, especially over the 6-game stretch now that we've had. It was another great come-from-behind victory. And I always say, it doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish. And this team definitely knows how to finish. And as much as we struggled offensively, I thought we still had a pretty solid day against a very tough Bears defense. We finished with 345 total yards of offense against that Bears defense. We had 221 passing yards in this game and 124 rushing. So, all things aside, with how much we struggled to put points on the board against this defense, we did a pretty good job of moving the ball against them. Defensively, it was another stellar outing. I think the defense deserves a lot of credit, and most of the credit for this win. And I've said it before, I think they deserve most of the credit in general for us winning 6 games in a row. And they were awesome, lights out here against Chicago. They held the Bears to only 86 passing yards. I mean, that's incredible. I thought our coverage was great all game. The pressure we were getting on Caleb Haney was phenomenal in this game, and he really couldn't do anything, and the Bears couldn't do anything through the air at all in this game. The pressure we applied and were able to get on Caleb Haney in this game was awesome. We had 4 sacks here against the Bears, hit Caleb Haney 7 times in this game. I mean, really just exposed that weak offensive line that the Chicago Bears have. And Caleb Haney really could do nothing at all. Von Miller had a big day. Doomerville had a big day. And DJ Williams as well was lights out. And the pressure definitely helped our D out in this game, as well as our secondary. Like I said, held Chicago to 86 passing yards. I mean, that's just remarkable. Our third down D, once again, was lights out. The Bears were only 2 of 15 on their third down conversions. That's just a great stat line for our defense, and once again just shows how much this defense has improved, particularly on third down. And our third down D was great here once again. And they hold Chicago to only 10 points. I mean, that's a great outing against anybody. So, once again, just another stellar outing by our D, and they were a huge reason, if not the main reason, we won this game. All right, now looking at some of the bad things we did in this game, obviously, once again, our third down offense was dreadful. We were 5-17 on our third down conversions. I don't really know what to say anymore when it concerns to our third down offense. I mean, the execution is very poor on third downs, obviously, in terms of our offense, and it's kind of crazy how great our defense is on third downs, but how poor our offense is on third downs. So, like I said, I don't really know what to say anymore. I don't know when our third down offense is going to improve. I don't know when we will get better in terms of our execution on third downs. But hopefully it comes before the playoffs, because if we continue to be this bad on third downs offensively, we're not going to have a very long playoff run. So we also had 2 turnovers in this game, 1 fumble and 1 interception. Obviously, both came from Tim Tebow. The interception was just him, trying to throw the ball away, and Charles Tillman made a hell of a play. The fumble was Tebow's fault. I mean, held on the ball forever. He's got to know he's got to get that ball out. He's got to feel the pressure a little better there. But it is what it is. For the most part, they didn't come back to haunt us. The 2 turnovers did, and like I said, you can't really fault Tebow for that interception. He's trying to throw the ball away, and Tillman made an excellent play. Offensive line also gave up 5 sacks in this game. Once again, you got to kind of fault that a little bit on Tebow Wolford holding the ball a little too long, and once again he's got to get the ball out a little quicker, but still you'd like to see our offensive line pass protect a little better than that and not give up 5 sacks to the Bears D. And defensively we gave up 159 rushing yards. You don't like seeing that because that's really all the Bears are trying to do. They were trying to protect Caleb Haney the whole game. I mean, the guy did nothing against us, and would have liked to see us force Caleb Haney to beat us a little more instead of, give up 159 rushing yards to a team that all they wanted to do was run the ball in this game. And really they were doing the same running play, it seemed like, over and over again. They were doing that little misdirection play where they'd get the defense going one way and then they'd look for a cutback lane, and it seems like no one was sealing that edge on the cutback lane. And that's what was, obviously hurting us, and it especially hurt us in that in the third quarter when Chicago had their 1 touchdown drive, where Marion Barber just it seemed like they were running that same misdirection play over and over again, like a counter play. And we just didn't make adjustments to stop it, but still, like I said, it was a stellar outing by our D, and at the end of the day, we got the win. So that's all that really matters to me. All right, now looking at some individual performances here, obviously starting with Tim Tebow. I thought he had a pretty solid outing here. He went 21 of 40 for 236 yards, had a touchdown, obviously the 1 interception, and also had 12 carries for 49 yards. Once again, it was just Tebow making plays when we needed him to, and showing his clutchness once again in the fourth quarter. I mean, he made some huge throws, some huge plays in the fourth quarter, and once again was a huge reason why we were able to come back and win this game. He did struggle throughout the first 3 quarters against Chicago's defense in this game, but a lot of his incompletions were not on him. I mean, they were on the receivers. Once again, a lot of drops in this game by our receivers. Demaryius Thomas dropped a touchdown pass. I mean, it was a great throw by Tim Tebow. Basically hit Demaryius Thomas right on the hands, and Demaryius Thomas dropped it. I mean, he beat the corner. It looked like it was a touchdown, and he dropped it. You got to make that catch. That's not on Tebow. And there was a couple other drops as well that, Tim Tebow went 21 of 40 in this game. He easily could have been 26 or 27 of 40 in this game. I mean, there was a lot of drops in this game by our receivers, and like I said, that huge touchdown pass that was dropped by Demaryius Thomas, that was just a huge momentum killer. But overall, Tebow just once again shows up in the fourth quarter, makes plays down the stretch. And that's all you can really ask out of your quarterback. The thing that kind of annoys me the most with Tebow is the media, the way that ESPN, the way that NFL Network, and a lot of the local news outlets here in Denver blow up Tim Tebow and make this all about Tebow time. But the one thing you see about Tim Tebow, that it's one of the reasons I really like the guy, is that he doesn't make it about Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow makes it about the Denver Broncos and makes it about the team. You see him always in the post-game press conferences after we win talking about his offensive line, his wide receivers, his defense, his coaches. And it's just that humility that Tim Tebow brings in, and him being so humble that you got to adore as a fan. And it truly is an honor to have this guy as our starting quarterback, because he's such a remarkable, one-of-a-kind person. And if the world had more Tim Tebows in it, it'd be a much better place, because the guy is one of the nicest, most humble, positive human beings there probably is on this planet today. And that's one of the reasons I think he's able to push through the frustrations that he has early in games, and is able to come back in the fourth quarter and perform the way he does. And once again, it was just another stellar outing by him. He had the huge throw to Demaryius Thomas in overtime, which I thought was a great throw, great catch by DT, and just made play after play in the fourth quarter. And overtime, and I thought his touchdown pass, I thought he did a great job of rolling out, getting the defense to come up to him, and then threw a strike to Demaryius Thomas to score and get the touchdown. So I don't really care what Stephen A. Smith says. I really don't care what Merrill Hodge says. I really don't care what Colin Cowherd says, about Tim Tebow not being the long-term answer, and just really critiquing, every little part of the guy's game. The guy wins, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. The guy's 7-1 as a starter this year and 8-3 in his career as a starter for the Denver Broncos. And he may not play well throughout the first 3 quarters, and obviously consistency is something that Tim is going to have to continue to improve on. But I think he knows that, and I can tell you right now, Tim Tebow probably works as hard, if not harder, than any other quarterback in the league. So I know he's only going to look to continue to improve. He's now got 6 game-winning drives in 11 career starts. That's got to count for something, and we won again. So people can keep doubting, but as a Bronco fan, I'm going to keep believing in this guy. I'm going to keep riding with Tebow, and like I said, people can keep doubting. All we'll do is keep winning. All right, now looking at some of our receivers in this game, got to start with Demaryius Thomas. I thought DT had a pretty good game here. He had 7 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. He's now had 2 really good games back-to-back. You're starting to see him kind of pick it up here and become more involved in the offense the past couple of weeks. Like I mentioned before, had the huge drop in the second quarter that would have been a touchdown. You know, Tim Tebow, it was a great pass by him. I mean, it literally hit Thomas in the hands and he just dropped it. But obviously he was very frustrated with the drop. But came back and had a real good, second half, and like I said, made some huge catches, some huge plays for us in the fourth quarter and overtime. Had the big catch in overtime. I believe it was on third down that led to a third down conversion for us, and then obviously that was a big play going forward. That eventually, that was on that drive that set up that 51-yard field goal for Matt Prater that won us the game. Matt Willis also had a good game. I had 4 catches for 75 yards, made some huge catches as well for us in the fourth quarter and overtime. Matt Willis is a guy that I don't think gets a lot of credit, but he's a guy that he contributes when he's out there, and I thought he had a very solid game here, and like I said, made some huge catches for us in the fourth quarter. I had that one catch on the drive to tie the game, where he was able to catch the ball and get out of bounds, get a couple yards as well, that set up the 59-yard field goal there in the fourth quarter. Just huge catch and huge play by Matt Willis. Not talking about some performances defensively. Like I said, overall, great outing defensively. Props to all the guys on our defense. They played phenomenal in this game. DJ Williams had a stellar outing. He had 9 tackles in this game, 2 sacks, and 4 tackles for loss. I mean, he was just making plays. He was everywhere. I had 2 sacks in the first half. I mean, it was really just a straight-up-the-gut blitz, and was able to, shed the block and get a sack, and they had 2 in that first half, and was just phenomenal. I mean, DJ is really playing at a high level right now, and honestly is playing at a Pro Bowl level. Like I said, had 4 tackles for loss. He was great in the run game, did a great job of getting in the backfield of the Bears and making some disruptive plays, and was huge for us in the first half, like I said, with the 2 sacks. Elvis Dumervil was also phenomenal in this game. He had 5 tackles, a sack, and obviously the huge fumble recovery in overtime. But you got to give Wesley Woodyard all the credit in the world for forcing that fumble, and then obviously Elvis made a heads-up play to pounce on the ball and recover it. Obviously, it was pretty much the game-clinching play for us. Dumervil is just he has really stepped up his level of play. I've kind of said that in my last couple of videos, but really in November and December, we're seeing the Elvis Dumervil of 09. He now has 7.5 sacks on the year. All of those are in November and December. I mean, you're really starting to see Elvis pour it on, and he's really having a great year. Another great game for him. Von Miller also had a phenomenal game here. He also had 5 tackles and a sack to go along with 2 tackles for loss in this game. Was great against the run here. Did a great job of shedding some blocks and getting in the Bears' backfield, making some plays. And like I said, had another sack. He now has 11.5 sacks on the year, which is 7th in the NFL, and this guy's a rookie. I mean, he has just been a godsend for our team and for our defense. Is a great character guy as well, and he's just played on a high level. And like I said, he's got 11.5 sacks. He's 7th in the NFL, and he missed a game. Imagine if he would have played against Minnesota. He might have had 2 or 3 sacks against that team, and he easily could be leading the NFL in sacks right now if he wouldn't have missed that game due to his thumb surgery. But he was stellar in this game, and has been a huge addition, for our defense. And like I said, deserves to be an All-Pro, deserves to be a Pro Bowler, and will win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Sorry to Alden Smith, sorry to Patrick Peterson, sorry to Marcel Darius. Von Miller will win Defensive Rookie of the Year, and if he doesn't, every person that votes on that should, have their head checked, because Von Miller deserves it by a mile, the Defensive Rookie of the Year by a mile. So give Matt Prater a lot of credit. That 59-yard field goal was not an easy kick to hit, and he made easy work out of it, and then obviously him hitting the 51-yard field goal. Matt Prater deserves a ton of credit, and that's the thing. Tebow's not out there playing defense. He's not out there making those kicks. Matt Prater, is making those kicks, and obviously our defensive players are out there playing defense for us, making plays, and that's the great thing about Tebow. He knows that, and he gives those guys credit when everyone else is trying to make it about him, and that's why he's truly a one-of-a-kind person. So right now we kind of got a stranglehold on our division, in my opinion. Obviously we have a better record with the Raiders. We're a game up on them, but technically we're 2 games up on them, because if we do tie with them, we do have the tiebreaker over them. So this is a huge win for us. Obviously we got a humongous game this weekend against the Patriots. Going to be a huge test for us. I think this is really going to show where this team's at, and it's going to be a real nice barometer to see where this team can go. Obviously, New England's a well-coached team. They got a ton of talent offensively. Rob Gronkowski is probably the best tight end in the NFL, him or Jimmy Graham. I mean, he's having a stellar year. Wes Welker's dangerous, obviously, and obviously you got to talk about Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady right now is probably the 2nd best quarterback in the NFL behind Aaron Rodgers. So, going to be a tough outing for our D. Going to be a tough outing for our O, and once again, we got to continue to play as a team, win as a team, and take it a game at a time, and hopefully we can get probably the biggest win of the year for us this Sunday against New England. Going to be a tough one, though, and we're going to have to battle and scrape and fight for this win. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys have a great day, and as always, go Broncos.